The Rez Chef cooking show uses everyday ingredients to make meals that are quick, healthy, and tasty. Host chefs Jodi and Genevieve are young, busy moms from the Flathead Reservation. Their lives are hectic and fast-paced. Who better to share their favorite dishes? On this episode of Rez Chef, Kim Swaney joins Jodi and Genevieve in making braised chicken with broccoli, sun-dried tomatoes, and couscous.
Hi, I'm Jodi, and this is Genevieve, and we are the host of Rez Chef. Today we have a special appearance by the Charcusta News editor. This is Kim Swaney. She's also a tribal member here on the reservation. Jen, do you want to tell us what we're making today?
Yes, we are going to do some braised chicken breasts with sun-dried tomatoes and broccoli.
Okay, let's get started. Turn a burner on.
We want to start off with some olive oil.
And we're using olive oil today every day because it's a healthier choice. We use this instead of using canola oil and vegetable oil just because it is good for you where the other ones are actually bad for you and your cholesterol. And Jen's going to put some garlic in.
I already had a little bit pre-chopped. I'm going to do one more clove, and then after the garlic gets in there a little bit, we're going to put some onions.
Yeah, and it's really, a lot of people don't realize, they try to peel your clove of garlic, but as you see, she used the blade and pressed it, and the shell automatically comes off the garlic.
Peels right off.
Yeah.
Pops
A lot
right
easier. Get this cooking.
Turn it on a little higher. We're also today going to serve this with couscous. Kim, can you hand me the couscous? Couscous is a Middle Eastern pasta that's made with the whole grain. It's the inner part of the durum wheat, which is what you make flour out of, but it hasn't been processed or crushed. It's just the whole grain. It's very simple. It's similar to rice. You can use it in place of rice. It's actually healthier than rice, and it's super fast. It cooks in 5 minutes, and it's got a really great flavor and a really great texture. So,
And this is my first time trying this, so I'm excited.
it's really good.
Well,
And you can use it in place of, any of your starches, potatoes, rice, and it goes with anything. A lot of couscous, prepackaged couscous, comes already flavored. This particular one is plain, so instead of using water with it, we're going to use chicken broth, 2 cups of chicken broth, and that'll give it a little bit more flavor.
And we're going to use this low sodium one. This is organic low sodium vegetable broth. And we're choosing this because of the low sodium.
Awesome.
Did you ever have couscous before?
Yeah, I have, in Missoula when I was going to school. And I like it because being kind of pre-diabetic, rice makes your blood sugar go way up. And by having this substitute, it's a lot healthier for you. Your body doesn't, your blood sugar doesn't elevate as fast.
Yeah, we talked about that on an earlier episode with mashed potatoes. So this would be another alternative to mashed potatoes.
And it's really important to balance, your starches when you are diabetic with something that's high protein, because then it helps break it down a little better.
Good. Thanks, Kim.
So since the couscous only takes 5 minutes, we're going to wait and do this a little bit later. We want to brown the breast first. So I'm going to make a little room for it in between this. You want to wait till the onions start to get a tiny bit translucent. And then you want to brown your breast real quickly on both sides.
The nice thing about boneless and, mainly skinless breast is it's a white meat. It's a lot leaner. Red meat tends to bulk people up, and so if you can have more white meat, sometimes fish, other types of poultry, yep. Our little grouse. that we had up at camp.
Yeah, we had
That was
grouse.
great.
So I took my kids hunting grouse in our minivan
Oh, did you?
behind St. Ignatius. It was really fun. We got 2 and came home, but they were really excited about it, and I was showing them how to pull the guts out of it. So it was fun. It was really fun. And we had wild turkey up there in our soup. Do you remember that
Oh,
soup?
yeah.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
was really good. Yeah, another show, wild turkey soup.
Oh.
And the camp we're talking about, it's the TLC camp. It's the Traditional Living Challenge. And we went up in the woods and we stayed in teepees and we ate healthy and did healthy activities every day for 5 days. We didn't cook with salt or sugars or oils or potatoes or dairy
Flour,
product. Yeah,
no
flour.
caffeine.
Yeah, healthy. It was a healthy living challenge, and we were trying to get more back to how it was in the olden days when we didn't have all the enriched and processed foods, and it was really good. My kids loved it too. So
And both of you have lost quite a bit of weight.
yeah,
Yeah.
I lost 25 pounds since the camp.
That's great. That's
I have
really good.
2 more to go and then to maintain.
Great.
And how have you done, Kim?
Well, I've managed to lose 15, and
Wonderful.
I've learned to use portion control. I've managed to do a little bit of exercises. Every time I think about it, whether I'm sitting there watching
aware.
TV, yeah, I'm more aware of it. I'm amazed though that after the camp, I wanted a big old greasy steak, and then I realized, by the end of the camp, I didn't want that. I didn't want to jeopardize everything that we had been doing. It was great to eat salmon and berries and nuts and
The wild game.
yeah,
And all the vegetables.
and it was so neat to use. We had the red osier dogwood rack where we dried some of our meat and also cooked some of our salmon. We learned how to make rope out of dog bane.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was
Tim
awesome.
Ryan taught
Yeah.
us that.
That was very awesome.
Kim, would you like to put a little bit of the broth? Now what we're going to do is pour broth over it. We're not going to cover them completely up, but we're going to put just enough so that they're going to braise in the liquid.
And you want to do it slowly so you don't get burned.
That looks perfect.
Do you want it turned down a little bit?
Yes, please. Now what we're going to do is add sun-dried tomatoes. And these you can find in any grocery store. And they come in 2 different ways. They come dried like this, which is very cheap. This was $2.39 for a large bag. They last a long time. They're very concentrated, so they add so much flavor. It's just regular tomatoes, and they dry them. They also come in oil in little jars, but that's more expensive, and then you have the oil. So this is a better way to go. And we just want to sprinkle the sun-dried tomatoes around in there, and then as they cook in the broth, it's going to give the chicken an amazing flavor.
And we'll put some of the herbs in too.
Now, what are you using here? What are your herbs?
Basil, and then one of these other ones is like an Italian one where it has oregano and basil
And thyme.
and thyme. So we're going to put some, just a little bit.
I'll put a couple pinches of parsley in here. We're also going to put parsley in the couscous. You can also use fresh rosemary, which is growing here.
Yeah, and it smells so good. It's
Yeah.
good on pork, poultry. Oh, yeah, good with tomatoes. Yeah.
So after we get this going, we want to turn it down and sort of simmer it for 2 cups of broth or water. We're using broth since this particular couscous is plain.
So for the flavor.
It'll give it a little bit more flavor, make it a little richer.
So how does, they kind of sought us out for the camp, right? So how do other people get involved in that? Because I think it's so important that we kind of get back to living traditionally because of our lifestyles have changed so much, and I think it's a big contributor to the health problems that we're having in Indian country.
Yeah, I
So
think
how do people get
it
involved?
was it was here. I think Anita Dupuy. She's the one. It was her idea, and she's the one running it. but she was doing it specifically for the tribal people and to prevent heart disease and to teach us how to live healthier. And I learned so much up at the camp just about eating vegetables. You know, I didn't realize how they were so good for us, and that I didn't know that it would satisfy my hunger when I ate them until I got up there and I ate so many, and I thought I was going to be, you know, gain weight at the camp, and I lost 6 pounds in those 5 days.
Yeah.
So it was a really good start for me, and I've kept on it the last few months, and I can't wait till the next camp. But it was mainly for tribal members. I think all tribal members are invited to come, and then other ones can come if you're non-tribal, come as visitors. And I think you could just arrange that with Anita, and we can have more information on that too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We're gonna do it again.
Yes, I would absolutely do it again.
Yay! Me too. I'll see you there then. Huh?
Yep.
We're gonna simmer this chicken for about 15 minutes. So in the meantime, we can visit with Kim, the fry bread queen.
Yeah.
Yes, I realize, you know, that we're learning to cook healthy, and this was an apron my mom gave me for my birthday, and fry bread really isn't good for you except for when you eat mine. No.
Yours is good, huh?
But I have had whole wheat fry bread, and it's just as good as regular fry bread. But yeah, it's a big contributor to our weight problems. But some people believe that it happens to cure just about anything.
That's what they say about Windex too, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw in a movie. Huh?
So so I wanted to wear it because I'm quite proud that I love to cook. I come from a family of great cooks, and
Kitchen time, huh?
yeah,
Family time.
It's really great. It's really important to have, you know, sit down and have a meal every night. I've always cooked something like this. I don't use packaged foods, very seldom.
That's
My
good.
kids like, you know, macaroni and cheese, things like that, but I've always exposed them to, you know, the broccoli and chicken and different types of things, and so they eat really healthy.
That's good. And so you have time to cook, being a full-time worker and
I
being
do.
mom, busy mom.
I do. And in fact, I prefer to, you know, to buy everything fresh because to me, it is cheaper.
It is.
I really believe it's a lot cheaper. It goes a lot further. You have lots of different choices when you buy those things, and but you know, along with eating right, you have to exercise, and it's tough for somebody like me who works the kind of job that I do. I find I do a lot of push-ups away from away from the table.
Really? Push away to do it.
But I also I'll sit sometimes and do leg lifts. I do a lot of isometric kind of stuff.
I feel better when I exercise, and I eat better when I exercise. It's like it's all connected and just goes together. And so, I mean, if you can just make the time and put that little effort into it, I mean, we were just talking the other day about how you need 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week is what the goal should be.
Yep.
And I mean, you can break it into, like, you have 2 15-minute breaks if you want to take a brisk walk for 10 minutes of that.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Even
that'd
little
be good.
things like when you're sitting at your desk, those of us that have desk jobs or have to sit in your office, you can just lift your legs up off the floor and hold them as long as you can while you're sitting at your desk. There's lots of little things you can do to bring exercise and toning into your everyday, even if you don't feel that you have time. Mm-hmm. So do you spend a lot of time at a desk doing editing?
Yes, I do.
Tell
I
us
spend
about
a
your
lot
job.
of time. I spend a lot of time on the computer, proofreading and researching, you know, things that are going on out there to get stories. And I get about 200 emails a day.
Oh, wow.
And so you have to sit. And it's really tough because you know, you need to have, everything needs to fit you. You know, you don't want to be slumped over your desk. You don't want to have to strain your eyes. being on a computer a lot, I worry about my eye strain. And I don't wear glasses yet. So
That's
hopefully
good.
I won't ever have to.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, and so I spend a lot of time at my desk. And except for production days, then I'm all over the office.
Running wild,
I'm
huh?
running. You got this, you got that. Everybody got their stuff done, and yeah. So I spend a lot of time moving around. But it's usually only on production days that I get to have any freedom.
So once a week, huh?
Mm-hmm. Rest of the time, yeah, I just have to sit still. It's hard for me to do.
I just turned the breast over just to give it a little bit more even, and just going to sprinkle a little bit more of the herbs on top, but it's smelling delicious and it's
Yeah, it
looking
smells
wonderful. What we haven't added yet is any of the salt substitute.
Rosemary also.
Yes, and rosemary. We're going to use the Bragg's amino acid. This is our #1 choice for salt. It's wheat-free, not fermented, no coloring agents, no preservatives, no alcohol, and it's great for salad dressings, soup, vegetables, poultry, casseroles, meat, fish, anything. You can absolutely use it for anything that you would put salt on. So
Where do you find that?
Just at the grocery store.
Really?
Yeah.
I have never seen it in the grocery store.
You have to keep your eye open.
Yeah, now I'll have to look for it. Yeah.
we were
Yeah,
talking
that's one
earlier.
substitute that's easy to make, and it will make a big difference.
You were talking about how you choose to shop the perimeter of the store.
Yeah, I try to stay on the outside.
Yeah.
That's where all the healthy, the
Absolutely.
living
Yeah.
foods are, and I think the fresher the better.
Yeah.
But if you can't do fresh, then I think frozen.
Yeah.
And then if you have to, you can resort to canned, but it's usually with added sodium in there, and so
Right.
I try to stay away from that. But fresh is best.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I let my kids choose whatever they want to try too. And Jonathan, he wanted to get an eggplant, and I was like, I don't know if you want that, but he ate it, so just let him get involved with that too. Do you let your kids get involved cooking?
Yeah, I do. In fact, we were talking about babies, getting into the kitchen. Well, you worry about their safety, but I never discourage the kids from playing with the pots and pans under the, in the cupboards, and so they're comfortable being in the kitchen. They try lots of different things, and it's nice. I'm really glad that they're very healthy. They're healthier than I am.
Well, you
that's
did a
the
good
goal.
job. Yeah, you did a good job. Then.
Thank you.
As a journalism major myself, what made you decide to go into journalism?
Actually, it came about. I had to do an advertisement in the paper, and I submitted my rough draft, and they created just a really nice piece for me. And it was Cynthia Harriman Larson, who's no longer with us, but she was a very good friend of mine, and so I started asking her, how do you do this? And so I would go into the Charcusta office all the time, and I had stories, and I would talk about things that I heard or people that I, knew, and so the editor at the time was Ron Bick, and he said, I want you to come work for me. He said, you got way too many stories, you know way too many people. I was like, okay. So I wrote for him for a while, and then I went back to school. And then when my friend Cynthia Harriman got killed, I came back and worked for Charcusta and did part of her job and did the advertising. And then when their office manager took a leave of absence, they brought me back again while I was going to school, and I did office work. So I got to do everything in that, pretty much in the office except for the editor and publisher's job. And so I just started my 5th year in September, and I
That's
really,
great.
really like being there.
Congratulations, that's
Thank you.
wonderful.
I just think it's really important that we tell our stories, and so it's a perfect place to be to do that.
So what's your favorite part of working on the reservation?
Favorite part of working on the reservation is probably being outside. That's my favorite part of the job and working here. Is this is the best kept secret in the whole world where we live.
Absolutely.
I've always said it's God's country, and So, yeah, and the people, it's really nice to be able to visit with people, and you know, when they see you coming and
Hi. No?
sometimes I like to tell them, let me take your picture, I'll make you famous.
Yeah.
So we're almost ready to put the couscous in. I'm going to add some parsley to the water now, and as soon as we get a good rolling boil, I'm going to put the couscous in. It's smelling so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I'm anxious to try this couscous.
I don't know if you can get a shot of this, but it's looks like little tiny pieces, little tiny grains of rice almost.
Yeah, I think this will be a good alternative. I want to try it at home, see if my family likes it too.
Most kids really like it. I make it at my preschool instead of rice, and the kids love it.
Yeah, if you don't make a big deal out of what it's called or anything, you
I
know,
think
just
it's
kind of
kinda
put it
fun.
out there. They just do it.
It'd be a fun name for them to say.
So this is different than hummus, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we should put the broccoli in too. Let that
Now, do you
cook
have
for
to
4 minutes.
do you have to cover this or anything?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to cover it and remove it from the heat. And it cooks itself very quickly in 5 minutes. It just steams it and puffs it
Broccoli.
up. We're putting the broccoli in.
You know, for people who are lactose intolerant, broccoli is an excellent substitute. It's high in calcium and vitamin C. Wonderful fiber, you know, to add to your diet.
Yeah, my stepdad calls it the Rolls Royce of vegetables because it's so good. It's like the top, you know, the top of the line.
You could probably put other vegetables in there too, right?
Yeah, whatever you want to try.
Yeah, whatever kind
Whatever
of
you have on
steamed,
hand
yeah.
too.
Mhm.
I want to check the chicken here and see how close we're getting.
Wow, it's
Perfect. It's
Yeah.
just a couple more minutes and it'll be all the way. Turn it up a little bit to get
Okay.
the broccoli steamed, and we should be ending all at the same time.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our substitutions today to make this meal healthier. We used olive oil instead of canola or vegetable oil, so it's good for your cholesterol,
What are
not
the-
bad for it. So we used that, so that was one of the substitutions. And then instead of a rice or potato, which would spike your sugars, so for diabetics or pre-diabetic, we are gonna try this couscous. And then we also did the low sodium vegetable broth. And this is gonna be what is, instead of like a gravy or sauce that's, we made our own. And then we used the sun-dried tomatoes, and that's another healthy aspect. And we used the Bragg's amino acid in place of the salts. And then the broccoli is the big vegetable in it.
So you want to get some
Get some
plates
plates?
over? And if you just put the broccoli in at the last minute and give it enough time to kind of steam so it's not too mushy.
Oh, and then we also used chicken, the skinless chicken today. And that is a healthier choice. And this was actually
It was a free range, hormone free,
Right.
antibiotic free, which is definitely what you want to do. A lot of commercial chicken is not. They're raised in little tiny cages on top of each other, and they get no exercise, and they're
who knows what.
fed each other. And shot full of hormones and antibiotics and steroids, and so you want to look for meat that has no steroids, antibiotics.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try it. How about you?
Yeah, I am too.
Smelling
I love
good.
chicken. It's so versatile, and you know, there's lots of ways to cook it. It's not you don't have to fry it.
Yeah.
You know.
After the couscous has sat for 5 minutes. All you have to do is fluff it with a fork. Just kind of dig around in there and fluff it up. And it has very much the consistency of a very like tiny little rice. Okay, here's
Turn
the
this on.
sauce.
That looks wonderful.
And here's
Thank you.
serving that.
It's even nicer when other people are
Yeah.
doing the cooking for you. You know, and you don't need a whole lot. If I've learned anything from being at camp, it was whatever you can fit in your hand is approximately about the size, portion size that you need. So that's been a really good thing for me. Is if I can
The
put
quantity.
it, yeah.
So start plating these up. This is going to be kind of hot, so we want to. And then I'll take the plates back and drizzle the broth over them after we get the breasts out.
It smells so good.
Yeah, it does. Well, and and garlic is so good for you. It helps keep your blood, it's good for your blood pressure. It's just a wonderful, wonderful spice to use. I use it in a lot of things.
I like my garlic pressed. So I don't
Yeah.
have to chop it.
Yeah.
Get my hands dirty. Yeah, well, it's been really fun to have you on
Yes,
today.
this is really nice.
There you are.
Thank you very much. Wow.
And you look great. I'm glad
Thank
to see
you.
you doing good. And
Yeah.
look healthy and cheery.
Yeah, you guys are an inspiration. I'm going to have to go out in the woods and rough it for a week and see if I can
It was really
jumpstart
fun.
myself.
We did have showers, solar showers.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we just had these water bladders that we laid in the sun, filled them up from the creek and laid them in the sun. And so we had warm showers in the evening.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh my goodness, this is so nice. Very moist.
And I want to try this couscous.
You're going to love it. I think your kids will like it too. The first time I served it at the preschool, all the kids are just like, no,
It is
Oh,
good.
that
We want
is
more.
good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of flavor. I like the tomatoes. You can really taste the tomatoes.
I love sun-dried tomatoes.
That
They're
was
so flavorful.
very good. Thank you, Genevieve.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you,
Thank
ladies.
you for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Rez Chef is brought to you by Salish Kootenai College Community Health and Development and Ancestors Choice. For more information about Rez Chef cooking shows, Ancestors Choice, the Traditional Living Challenge, or to contact the program, please call 406-275-4917.